All right, so whenever I got done with the Golden Disc Collection reviews, I was like, well, I think that's pretty much it for Transformers. There's no other like waves or anything like that that I could kind of like review all in one go. And then I was like, oh man, well, there's the Shattered Glass stuff, the new Shattered Glass, G2 Shattered Glass, Pulse Shattered Glass, whatever you want to call it. Not quite the original Shattered Glass, but hey, it is what it is. So I was like, hey, yeah, I've got all those. So I think I did Blur, by itself. Originally, I was gonna like kind of tackle them as they came in, but with Pulse, everything was just sort of like in odd shipping, numbers, and you're able to import some of this stuff, months before, they would even release how they were supposed to through Pulse and whatever. And you know what? That's fine. And I understand that like I have the Generation Selects like 2-pack here. But I kind of consider them like part of Wave One. I don't know. I honestly can't remember if they even came out in the same year, but I guess that's kind of irrelevant. But um, I do like doing these reviews in this kind of format. So here we go. This is sort of our first wave, so to speak. And I mean, you can see like all this junk that I've got, like kind of like what this piece of glass is sitting on, and it's just normally I try to like hide that as much as I can, but in order to like get all of this on in the same shot, I kind of had to do it this way. So, anyways, that's that. Let's go ahead and get into it. I can't believe I'm about to do 7 of these things in one shot. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. I'm going to start with my least favorite and then kind of work my way up. So yeah. All right, so this may be a surprise to some because I think like overall the Commander class Jetfire mold got like a really good reception whenever it first came out. Me, I don't know. Maybe it's because like it's not that it's too big. Like I feel like scale is fine. But like it's also like this is based on like a what was it, the Takara Tomy Dark Skyfire I think is what it was, which I think was originally like Shattered Glass, like for Jetfire, and like okay, that's all well and good, but ultimately like it's just not something that like I'm particularly crazy about. It's pretty big on the shelf, takes up a lot of space, and like it's just I don't know. To me, it's too much. It's just too much. Also, like I haven't read the new IDW Shattered Glass comics yet. They are like literally next up on my list of stuff to read. So I don't really know like what faction he technically belongs to, because it does still keep the kind of like G1 gimmick of, is it a Decepticon? Is it an Autobot? Like what have you? What is it? And that's all well and good, and you do get options for all of that, and that's all stuff I appreciate. You get the blast effects, which um they're cool kind. I mean, I think a lot of people really do like the blast effects. You can see like mine is warped. It just kind of came warped like that. I'm sure. I mean, it's an easy fix, just some hot water or whatever. It'll probably like sort itself back out. Me personally, like I hate keeping stuff like in the box, so I just kind of keep them, stuck on him in either vehicle or jet mode. But they are just one of those like kind of encumbersome things. So you have that. This can just pop off, and that's cool. I do like how this just sort of becomes this thing, and it's not all just a bunch of pieces that are set off to the side. So if you want the kind of like basic jet form, you can have it like that. I'm pretty sure you can take a lot of this stuff off and like peg it on to different parts of the jet to kind of have more of a uh, I guess traditional armored jet look. There's a lot of stuff, and admittedly, I did not look at instructions for this guy. I just kind of like winged it. But like, this stuff, like I don't know necessarily like what all this is for. And that's probably just like me not being very good at toys. I don't know. And then like this, again, like I don't know what any of this moving bits and stuff is for. And we have all these ports all over the place. I don't know. I don't know why. And then like obviously like that did not sound good. I thought this, yeah, okay, like this can kind of go down like that. If that's what you're about, I guess. But yeah, so it's just landing gear's cool, I guess. I like that. I like the little gimmick. So you can, if I can get in here and All right, yeah, so let's see. You open that up. This comes out. It's like a little engine block thing, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's like a, I don't know if it's like a spark thing. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Does something else open up on this? This comes out, I'm like, I've been told, despite me not being able to get it out. Anyways, it comes out and you can put a Titan Master in there. I'm just not gonna do it. This, let's see. I thought they could like go in here too. I'm pretty sure they can. Does this open up? Yeah, this totally opens up. Yeah. So you can fit more Titan or Prime Masters in there, and that's neat. Oh, it's because it pegs in back here. All right, that makes more sense. So yeah, I mean, it's got gimmicks. It's got a lot of like play feature to it, and that's maybe ultimately like why they wanted to kind of go for that. But yeah, it's my least favorite. Again, it's too big, and I think a lot of that comes from just like I don't like reviewing big stuff. It's just really cumbersome, I guess, like for camera, and I don't know. I don't know if that's it, or if it's just because genuinely like I don't like a lot of stuff taking up a lot of, or I don't like one thing taking up a lot of space on a shelf. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. Let's look at it in robot mode. All right, so here he is more or less in robot mode. As you can see, very big, very tall, very annoying to get on camera. You can still plug this backpack of stuff onto his back, which again I really do like. And like aesthetically, you know, it's not terrible. He's not like a bad looking figure. It's not as like stylized as like in my opinion, I really liked the Thrilling 30 Jetfire the most, just aesthetically. It looked like, yeah, I mean, I just like that newer kind of like almost Macross crossed over with Gundam sort of look, and I get that like maybe that's what they're trying to like not actively do, even though like Harmony Gold won that lawsuit. But anyways, so here we have, I'm just gonna, you know, just whatever. So all of this stuff kind of comes apart, so we're gonna get that done, because I think there's a way that a lot of the stuff connects, and I'll figure it out off camera just to again save all of us a little more time. These come out, I don't know if I did that right or not. I feel like I did that very wrong, but okay, no, I did it right. And then this, all right, sweet, yeah. So there's all that. I think this opens up. There's the helmet's in here, but I can't remember how to get it out. So does this? Oh, something flips up. We're gonna figure this out together. This one we're gonna figure out together. I say we're gonna figure it out together, but I'm just gonna pan away. If I don't figure it out, see, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, see how it was hidden? So yeah. All right. Let's get all this stuff situated. All right. So now that I have like half of it done, so like I can remember where the other like stuff goes or kind of goes. Like I don't know. I didn't really like look at anything. I did not prepare for this at all, but obviously like these pieces clip onto the forearms, which is nice. I want to say like I remember one or both of these maybe being loose on mine, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just me misremembering, which is totally a thing that can happen. And then that. So then you have like these two pieces. I think, yes, perhaps. So I'm pretty sure these just go. Let's pan down here on the legs. So if they don't, I'm sure someone can correct me. And then these little pieces that I showed off in jet mode earlier, they flip up, and there's a little hole there, and that just pegs right in, all nice and neat. And then let's see, the chest flaps. Let's go up a little bit, make this easy for both of us. Open up like that, and you will guide them into these slots respectively and respectfully. Let's see, did it fit? It's hard to tell for me at this angle. One of them got in. Let's see if maybe that one just wasn't. There we go. All right, so there's that. And then you can just, this little square peg will fit into this square slot rather tightly too. There we go. And then I think you can kind of like press the square peg back there. That doesn't matter. But anyways, that's more or less him armored up. Now with the two big guns, you can do like a multitude of things. In combined mode, obviously they were together like this. Well, there we go. They were together like that, which is a pretty neat little gimmick. So if you just want them to hold the one, I can't remember if he's supposed to hold the one in powered up mode or if he just, you know, gets the two. So what's pretty cool is you close his hands and then this little hole comes out. So you can peg the guns in, respectfully, of course. And there we go. And come on now. Oh, just like that. All right, so, and this is him all armored up, which again doesn't look bad. I was not displaying him like this, admittedly, on the shelf, just because I feel like the Decepticons are extremely outnumbered in this, you know, new Shatterglass subline. It's almost all Autobots, like literally 2 Decepticons. So I was kind of like having him be a Decepticon, but I do like this look, so I may kind of alternate it back and forth, which is the good thing, you know, that you can do with and about this one in particular. And I think that's probably why they decided to make him. Let's see, these don't like staying in here at all, which again, kind of part of the problem with these little blast effects. But yeah, so let's just put those there and see how long they stay. I guess you know, it's gonna be one of those days. We already got 12 minutes just on this freaking big dude alone. But I don't know, he's just my least favorite. I really can't, you know, and I really shouldn't say that. The Optimus is definitely gonna be my least favorite, which we'll get to him literally right after this guy. But that's neither here nor there. I understand why they had to have him. But anyways, that's it for Jetfire. Not terrible. He's a little loose in the legs. I think apparently like you can tighten up some screws. I have not traditionally had good luck doing that, so I'm not going to do that. And just know if you do it and you break something, that's on you, not on me or whoever told you about tightening screws. So keep that in mind. He doesn't fall over on display. I mean, he could hold whatever dynamic poses necessary. He's got the ankle rockers and things like that. So that is a plus. There are, you know, pluses to him, but he's just big and cumbersome. And I don't know. It's just Skywarp colors with some sweet lime green on Jetfire. And I never really particularly cared too much about that compared to the regular Universe Jetfire colors, but that's more of a me thing. You may absolutely love this, and it's an easy way to like essentially get your hands on the mold because I'm pretty sure he's still readily available almost everywhere. So you know that is a plus too. So yeah, that's Jetfire. Not terrible, but not really my favorite either. So, anyways, let's move on to the next. All right, I'm genuinely not spending a lot of time on this one at all. It's Optimus. I'm just so tired of flat nose cab Optimus Primes. They've been around for like 40 years, and I mean, when it's like Ultra Magnus, I guess it's pretty cool. Like, dude, I put this guy below Goldbug, bro. Like, that's the cliff jumper mold, and that thing has just been done to death in this line. It is awful. The colors are great, but it's just this freaking G1 Prime mold. I'm so sorry to be like a negative Nancy about it, but it's just been done to death. The deco is neat. It's the Shatterglass deco. The purple is a little too rich, in my opinion. I feel like it could have been a little more muted like the original, but the dark blues match up pretty well. I thought about just getting all my original Shatterglass stuff down to compare to, but it's so much work just to get them out of the display cabinet and then back into the display cabinet, and that stuff's kind of old and a little expensive now, and I just didn't feel comfortable at all doing that. So yeah, that's it. Let's look at him in robot mode. Why not? Alright, so here he is, and arguably this is the best Optimus mold for that 1984 itch you will ever find. I think that they will ever release. I'm sure they're not through releasing them, but genuinely, whoever was able to design and engineer this at a retail, to be fair, leader class price point, but this one was, I think, priced more in line with like a Voyager, because I mean it is a Voyager, all things considered. It's great. It's a great little feat of engineering, and it's not overly complex. It took like some of the better parts of the MP10 mold and just like scaled it down and kind of simplified it a little bit. It's still a great mold. Again, like that's nothing that can be taken away from it. The little chest pieces open. I really, it's been so long. I have this and the regular retail. Okay, yeah. So I think that's actually the first time, or I guess again there was MP10 Shattered Glass, so he came with a Matrix technically. But other than that, it's, we got our kind of classics, generation scaled, whatever, Matrix of Leadership, which is neat. Again, he looks good. He's not bad at all. Weapon storage, you guys know that I love weapon storage. But it's just, I don't know. It's lacking the attitude that I think that the original classics Voyager Prime mold had whenever they converted that to Shattered Glass. It was just kind of beefy and powerful, and that just a lot of that is just because of like the base mold itself being that classics Prime. It was beefy and it was more power and less humble leader, which I feel like this mold lends itself to. But for a lot of people who maybe missed the boat in 2008 and don't want to pay like $600 to $800 for one, or maybe they missed the boat in 2012 or just don't want a deluxe class Shattered Glass Prime, which is completely understandable. Or maybe the Shattered Glass MP10 is just a little too damn big for all of the other Shattered Glass toys that they've like pieced together over the years. All conversations I've had with different people, this was a solid purchase. It made the most sense. It came with a character that you were only able previously to have in Shattered Glass form through a custom class, which was Ratchet. So that, a lot of that just made a lot of sense, and it's good that people were able to like at least get their hands on the character. Me, I'm just tired of Flat Nose Truckfather Prime, but it's a good toy, and this one holds up just as well as the Earthrise one that I have, which I haven't really messed with a whole lot. I just kind of put them on my leader display, and I was like, all right, you look good. See you later. So there's that. Let's get to the next one that I guess like the least out of the bunch, and that's definitely going to be Goldbug. I have this as Bug Bite. I have this as goodness, he was a wrecker. Hubcap. I was wanting to say Huffer, but I knew it wasn't Huffer. So I have it as Huffer. I have it as Hubcap, I have it as Hubcap. I have it as Bug Bite. And I was just like, all right, that's the furthest I'm going to go with this mold. I feel like I've got it as something else, but I may not. It's just, you see so many pictures of this, and they've released it so many times. It is absurd. But anyways, it's Bug Bite. And I don't know why I was so surprised they decided to kind of go Hyper G1 with the look. I think it would have been cooler if maybe, and I'm going to get some flack for this because it's another mold they have just run into the dirt. Maybe if they would have like used the Sideswipe mold. Like, I know a lot of people are just like, well, what about the Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, because, of how close in similarities they are with, like, the back wing and stuff like that. And I understand why, like, logistically, like, that probably wasn't a good idea for a Shattered Glass Goldbug. But I think maybe the Sideswipe mold really would have lended itself, particularly the Earthrise tooling of it, I think would have worked. But instead, we got this, and, whatever. This is the, like, ski car mode. I honestly wish they would have just left all of this stuff out in general. I understand, like, he would have had no weapons, but that's just, like, my sort of personal preference. Otherwise, the deco is fantastic, and that's something I think I failed to mention on Jetfire, or at least, like, pointed out a little bit further. The deco is great. I think the colors look great. I love black and gold almost as much as I, like, love black and green, which Jetfire had. So there is that. And they also, painted this, what's supposed to be the rear window. Anyways, I do like it. I do like the color layout, the breakup, all of that. It does look great. Didn't have anything lined up there, just tight. So let's look at him in robot mode. All right, here's Goldbug in robot mode, and let me keep it an absolute buck with you. This is where they should have stopped. I know they've done the Studio Series 86 Buzzworthy Cliff Jumper. That's all well and good. I'm sure we're probably going to end up seeing Bumblebee again at some point, some mass retail sort of something, I don't know. This is where it should have ended. This is too much. It's honestly too much for this little mold. It's a fun little engineered toy. I don't want to take that away from it, you know, but it's kind of a piece of shit after all these uses. Again, just keeping it a buck. Like this is a super weak connection. This obviously, as you can tell, you know, there's no, it doesn't want to hold. That'll kind of hold, but then you're stuck with like this, and that's not very good. That's not a good look. I mean, you can't really see it too well, I guess, but again, like, just because like this is just such a super weak connection, it's really unfortunate. And you know, this could be my copy, but I feel like it's not. I feel like it's definitely not just my copy. The head sculpt is great. I do want to like point that out. This is a great head sculpt, and I just know that we're getting a Goldbug out of it. We probably already have. It's probably already been announced. I just don't pay attention to Transformers very much anymore, like news-wise, or as far as rumors go, I guess. It doesn't faze me. But yeah, he's rough, man. He is hard to love. Again, the engineering is pretty cool, but it's time to put it into the ground. You know, it's seen all of the good days it's gonna see. But otherwise, the you know, color transfer here from vehicle to robot mode, it works. We still have, I think, just the right amount of blues. I understand why they didn't do it, but I wish they would have done this cannon blue like this one, just for my own sort of like sanity. And I mean, I know you're supposed to like make a big bazooka launcher out of it. I just don't see even evil Goldbug being a bazooka launching fella. So those are more or less like my issues with it. I just do not like the bazookas on this mold at all. Like, I understand why they did it. They did it for Cliff Jumper. They could have just left it out. And realistically, I could have just left it in the box. That's, you know, I'll give you that 100%. But I hate leaving stuff in the box. I don't like it. And it integrates poorly in vehicle mode. I don't know. I'm being a negative Nancy about it, and I shouldn't be, because it's just kids' toys and whatever. But, I mean, you know, whatever. Y'all can discuss that amongst yourselves. But, yeah. So that's Goldbug. You know, I've probably said more bad things about him than I did Jetfire and Prime, but like, he's at least small enough to like forgive some of this stuff, you know. I mean, granted, they sold him at a deluxe price point, but yeah, it's just I think it's because I like his colors more than I like the Prime and the Jetfire. So anyways, let's get on to our next one. Okay, this one, in all honesty, was kind of a tough one for me. You know, ever since Hasbro announced like they were doing Shattered Glass and stuff like that, I have really been wanting characters that we didn't get in the original run. Call me selfish, I'll agree with you, but I've got all these characters already as Shattered Glass toys, so like, I'm kind of just picking these up just on nostalgia, more or less, and wanting to keep it going, because I already do have pre-existing Shattered Glass stuff. And while I technically did have a Shattered Glass Ratchet, this one I think fit the bill, because like, it was one of 4 options in a custom class at the last Botcon that turns out wasn't the last Botcon, which is great for me as a fan of Botcon. But yeah, so like this was actually like a more or less a main release possibility of the characters. So this kind of more or less in a roundabout way fit that bill. And I think it looks good. It's definitely based on the Pro Story Ratchet that we got. I can't remember the name of the Pro Story. Where the custom class one was definitely more based on, like, kind of what they were doing at the time. You know, as far as, like, the Combiner War stuff and all that. He's got... I know a lot of people have been talking about, like, yellowing plastic on mostly Twitter. But I'm pretty sure this is not yellowed, and it could just be my eyes and the light and maybe the lack thereof. But this is definitely a different type of plastic than this is, and therefore it's going to be a different shade, if that makes any sense. Again, I don't know the like. I couldn't tell you like what's PVC, what's ABS, what's this, what's that. I couldn't tell you. I'm not the guy. But and then like I think some of this is like also painted. Well, I know the clear plastic stuff is painted, but anyways, again, I guess it's like neither here nor there. But let's get this off because I do like the weapon storage here. There we go. So yeah, you can store the weapon there, which again I think is pretty neat. A lot of people, I guess, like were having like some problems like knowing that you could do that because I mean I don't know if the instructions like showed it or whatever, but like I immediately was just like, oh well, that fits in there. That's neato. So you know, there's that. But you can go ahead and close all this up and make it into his weapon of sorts. But yeah, so this just does look, again, it when you're comparing it to other white plastics, and I'll get into it more on Starscream, I guess, because like those are more noticeable pieces, but I don't think they yellowed. I think they shipped like that. And I think like we're just kind of trained as collectors to look for yellowed plastic, and when our brain says, "Oh, that's white plastic," and we don't really look at it, and then you know we come back to it a few weeks later, or a month later, or whatever, we're like, "Oh, that's yellowed." But again, I'll get to that when I get to it. But I'm pretty sure this is a different material, all things considered, or it's yellowing, and I'm just stupid. Totally possible. Let's get him into robot mode. Alright, here he is in robot mode, and all things considered, this is probably going to be one of the more tougher ones to track down now. I haven't really looked, so don't take 100% of my word for it. But a lot of people were kind of picking this up and custom painting it into the G1 Ratchet colors, because that particular 2-pack was insanely hard to come across. Apparently it was just like a big short shipped thing from Amazon, and a lot of people just didn't luck out on it. I don't, other than that, I just know it was like that one and the Ironhide and Proud one were pretty hard to get. So yeah, a lot of people have just been picking up this 2-pack with the Prime, selling off the Prime and custom painting the Ratchet, which, I mean, all things considered, makes a lot of sense. That's totally fine. But yeah, it could have possibly like made some sort of shortage for the Shattered Glass Ratchet, which I don't know. I mean, some stuff's funny. I mean, it sucks people weren't able to get the thing that they wanted, but the idea of it, I guess, is just like, okay, you're gonna like short pack one Ratchet and to like make up for the other. Anyways, I've never particularly been a fan of this weapon storage, but I mean, I guess you can do that with it, or you can do this with it. It's silly. I think it's more silly, on, I guess, the not Shattered Glass version, but considering like Shattered Glass Ratchet was kind of a sadist, it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, like this is pretty cool, I think, as far as like getting like an actual kind of like articulated G1 styled Ratchet and Ironhide that we ended up getting as well. It's neat. I like it. I like this this figure a lot, kind of because of it, and again, like because it was more or less something that wasn't offered, and it really kind of had me looking back, wishing that maybe I had done Medics as like the custom class figure of choice in 2016. Like that was a real big like oof, hindsight hit me pretty hard on this, but I'm kind of torn on displaying these Shattered Glass toys. I have a separate shelf for the the Pulse, this like G2 Shattered Glass as I've been calling it, and for the like original Shattered Glass run from Fun Publications. So I mean, at least I've got the representation on both, and that's ultimately kind of like how I'm looking at it. So but yeah, otherwise, like Ratchet's cool. I like the colors, the teal and the purple. I think Hasbro did a great job on this one, and that's that. So let's get on to the next one. All right, I'm gonna keep it a buck. This one was a tough call. I really kind of, it was a toss up between Starscream and Blur for this spot. I mean, they really are kind of like tied for 2 and 3 respectively, but ultimately I do end up liking Blur a little bit more. But so yeah, let's take a look at Starscream, which came with a newly molded pieces, and I do think that's cool. Real quick, just to get it out of the way, this is the piece that people are talking about yellowing, and I don't think that it's yellowing. I think it's just molded in that particular colored plastic. We see it here too. And usually when plastic yellows, it's not really uniform like this. I think it was just molded in that kind of eggshell because it's a different type of plastic, right here than this is. And you can see it's separate from this piece and everything like that. So that is more or less like my hot take on it, and I'm sure plenty of people will tell me I'm wrong about one thing or another. And the white plastic definitely can and more than likely will yellow, but I don't think that's the case on a lot of this kind of current stuff. I think a combination of lighting and materials is what's really playing that trick on us. But overall, this is Starscream. He was one of my favorites in the original Shatterglass box set, using that big Cybertron Starscream mold. Well, it wasn't the big one; it was the Voyager one. But still, I really liked it. I really liked the guns and the swords that kind of came off of his arms, and I like how this one kind of duplicates that, because I mean it is obviously the Tetrajet or whatever, which the original one was kind of like an homage to. Again, I think this is like a full circle thing that I just really do like. So not much to talk about in the vehicle mode. Obviously, it's just a flying tetrahedron. So let's take a look at it in robot mode. Alright, so here's Starscream in his robot mode, or more or less how I put him in robot mode. I'm pretty sure, though, in the comic, he actually has more of that traditional, like, Seekers robot mode, where the guns end up going on the arms, and I'm pretty sure he ends up holding the sword like it's an actual sword, which I will show off, but I do like this because you can kind of, like, recreate, the original look. I think can these peg into here? Oh, maybe not. And so, like, this is painted, so I'm gonna try not to. You know what? Let's see. If these peg in, then I'll put the swords in. Okay, so that pegs in. You know what? Here it goes. Carefully, I guess. So we can plug these in here. I don't know if we'll be able to plug the guns in here. Yeah, see, that's not going to fit. It's just going to be a little too busy. Or you can, again, plug it on the lower arms right there. But I feel like that's eventually going to rub some of that paint off, and that's going to be just mighty unfortunate. I get why they do it, because, it looks better with the painted hilt. But painting translucent plastic just never works out well for anybody in the end. But what is really cool about this in particular is that, let's, come on, get it together. Maybe that is it together. Perhaps. Yeah, okay, that was it together. I genuinely don't think I've combined it since getting it. But anyways, it kind of like sort of looks like the Star Saber. So I do think that's pretty neat. And then obviously he can hold it, which again, I'm pretty sure that's how he looks in, the comic, the new comic, I should say. But overall, a really good look, but I just, Blair ended up like beating him out just barely. And a lot of it's just because of how, like, I guess active Blair's deco is. But again, along, like, more to like the kind of like off-colored plastic. You can see like this in here. Again, I think it's just a different plastic compound. It's going to be the same thing that's made up of. And like this. So like this whole thing is one piece, and it has yellowed. That's just because it's the color that it is. Through and through, like, it's all the same shade because it's just an eggshell paint. I don't think that the plastic is actually yellowed. That a lot of people seem to be kind of panicking and saying, oh no, our stuff is yellowing after only a couple of months. Again, can some of this stuff yellow if you've got it, in whatever weird conditions that cause yellowing plastic, which there are. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to it, which, whatever, is unfortunate, but it's just the truth. Yeah, totally. Definitely, there is that. But I don't think that's the case with this one in particular. At least not yet. It just doesn't have those telling signs of yellowing plastic. So, just knock the camera around. But whatever. All right, so no secret. Blur is going to be the next one. Again, like, I know I already reviewed this, and more or less my opinions of it still remain. I have done some little touchy-uppy stuff to the things. I think, like, in case anyone that like does remember that review, which might not be a whole lot of people. I mean, I've taken it down since, but yeah, Blur is just excellent. I love G1 Blur. The look, the aesthetic, the alt mode, everything about G1 Blur I really love. So getting the Shatterglass deco on that G1 mold was just a chef's kiss. It was fantastic. Rebro Labels has some sets out, makes it look pretty good, but like I still think this looks phenomenal as is. Something about this like super ultra duper fast talking sports car hover car thing from the future. It's just really cool. Yeah, that's that. There's his alt mode, just to kind of show it off. Again, I love the lightning deco. It's not as busy as the Fun Pub one, which I do like how that lightning deco like essentially covered the entire car on the Fun Publications one. But given what they kind of have to work with here within the constraints of, you know, this particular mold, I don't feel it is as much of a problem, but it does look gorgeous. So let's get it into robot mode. All right, so here's Blur, the coolest thing out of 1986 Transformers, possibly except for Springer. I'll get back to you on it because like Springer's really cool too. And so is Hot Rod. Like, almost all of 1986 Transformers are really awesome, but I do think that Blur is the coolest. And honestly, this is probably the coolest like individual head sculpt that has ever been put on a Blur figure. And you know, obviously, it takes a lot of inspiration, or it takes all the inspiration from the Fun Publications Shatterglass Blur. It was just really cool seeing, you know, the whole eye patch thing. I think that looks just so menacing. The smile is even like a certain degree of evil. I think that looks great. He comes with the same weapons accessories that the Studio Series 86 one came with, and quite frankly, I just kind of got them out to show you, but what I do with them is I just more or less keep this right here. I mean, it's like some little welding thing or whatever, and like it's just not for me, if I'm being totally honest. And it's supposed to peg in. Maybe I have it going the wrong way. Does it go that way? Yeah, I think it goes that way. So, and it'll stay, you know, pegged up under there, you know, nice and well. This one, this is the one that I kind of tightened up. I say I tightened up. I put some like nail polish, but it looks like it's kind of starting to get a little loose, and I think that's like fairly common on all of them, which is super unfortunate because like I really do like this mold. I really like this mold. I wish that the Studio Series 86 one had a head that looked as nice as this one. Like, this is a nice proportionate head, and the one that's on the Studio Series 86 one is like very long and Jay Leno, and like I don't know, maybe we'll get either an upgrade kit or something like that to fix it. But in the meantime, as far as the weapon storage, I kind of tossed the weapons, you know, both on this one and the Studio Series 86 one, just kind of sticking in his back like that, just because I like how he looks, you know, just like this. Like, obviously, like, his main power is, you know, going fast. So, but I really love the color. The only gripe that I guess I have is that there's no, like, lightning deco on the robot mode. Again, I understand why. Like, maybe they could have done it, you know, because like this is in vehicle mode, obviously, but if they could have had some up here on these shoulders, which is already like pretty paint heavy, that would have been nice. But at this point, I'm nitpicking. But this is definitely my second favorite, mostly for character purposes and just because the overall look. I mean, he sticks out compared to all the other ones, both like original and well, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. The original Shatterglass run of characters is very very colorful. It's a very colorful palette of characters, but he definitely sticks out a lot more than kind of like what we're getting currently through the Hasbro Pulse Shatterglass stuff. But hopefully that'll change pretty soon. Like, I'm looking to see some more of these blues and these dark and pastels colors just sort of like colliding and mixing. So, all right. I think finally we're at one more left. 40 minutes. No one's going to sit through this whole thing. I'm doing this for me at this point. So, Megatron. This one was the biggest surprise to me. I didn't think that they would have gone through this much to add to the Tank Megatron mold, and they did. And it's a nice surprise. And like, yeah, it's kind of like a weird sort of, jet mode to make out of a tank mode, and you can still get the tank mode. I'm not going to show off the tank mode. You don't need to. I mean, we've seen it 100 times already that this mold has been released. But we get a really cool jet mode out of it. We get these awesome new pieces, which have like Minicon ports on them, which is cool. Or Minicon pegs for like, if you wanted to port a Minicon on, you could do that. I just think that's neat. I think that's a nice like little attention to detail. Personally, I really like it. And you can do whatever you want to with this. I just put it there to show you can kind of have everything in this jet mode. As far as tank mode, you're going to be stuck with some pieces that are kind of like not having anywhere to go. Mostly this one, but you can like fold these wings. You can take them off and like peg them on, a particular way for tank mode, which is really neat. So again, I really do like that, but I love that they took it the extra step and really gave us a jet mode out of this. I know a lot of people like wanted the like Kingdom Galvatron or whatever. Like for whatever reason, apparently like that's making a good Shatterglass Megatron. And that's that's whatever. But I like this personally. I like this a little bit more. So let's get it into robot mode. All right, here he is in robot mode, and honestly just looking fantastic. So I don't know like how much of this was like intended, but you can just sort of slot the sword in the backpack here, and these pegs will sort of like hold it into place. Of course, I do it on camera, and it's gonna fall out, but I literally just did it like moments ago, and it didn't. And okay, maybe it's because I didn't have it all pegged together. Let's see, you piece of crap, you absolute scumbag. It did it earlier. Now it's not going to do it, and that's really, really typical, I guess. Is it gonna? Is this now? Okay, yep, still gonna do it. Whatever, fuck you. Well, these aren't made for kids, anyways. I don't care. But like man, this genuinely like upset me. This upset me more than it rightfully should have, because like it was just there, it was there. But I mean, it still stays, I guess, standing up. But I mean, dude, no one's gonna get 42 minutes into this video to hear any of that. But whatever, you can still sort of keep it there. As far as weapon storage goes, it's not great weapon storage, but it's still weapon storage. And you can either put it in his fusion cannon hand, which personally I don't like to do because I think the fusion cannon is supposed to go shooty, or you can put it in the hand that has this like shield accessory here, which also sort of doubles as like a sword of sorts. So you do have that as an option. But this looks good, man. Like they, I know people are sick of this Tank Megatron. Personally, I'm sick of this Tank Megatron. But I think this really turned out looking pretty good. Is that a paint? Okay, no, it's just paint application, not paint scratch. So neato. A lot of people wanted the combat Megatron head sculpt. I think I would have liked that too, all things considered. But it doesn't make or break this figure for me. I love these translucent blue pieces. They really tie everything together, in my opinion. And honestly, like the Megatron just looks significantly cooler than the Prime here. Like they actually did something different to homage the original, and granted, like there's not a whole lot they could have done with this Prime to homage the original, so that'd be kind of a silly thing to think about anyways. But since I've just kind of got it, let's just see what he looks like with literally the only other Shatterglass Decepticon, unless you count Jetfire, which I'm not sure if I do or don't. Again, I haven't read the comics, so there's that. But yeah, I think all around, like this Megatron has the most like play factor and just cool display factor out of any of the others. And that's like ultimately like why I put him above Blur. Blur being like my favorite character wise, and just like I think Blur's got a lot of that cool factor, but Megatron has more play factor and probably the equal cool factor, all things considered. I just think it looks. You give a tank wings, like you give this tank character wings, and like they'll just automatically get cooler. I don't know. That's the '90s kid in me, I guess. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at them all together, and we'll do final thoughts and get out of here. All right, so here we are. I've got my camera backed up about as much as I can get it backed up. And here they like look as a group, and like this isn't terrible. We've got the rumors of Shattered Glass, kind of like Wave 2 or 2022, whatever year we're in right now. And that's like something to look forward to for me to like kind of add to this. So like this is kind of like respectfully the Wave 1. And at least as of this recording, I've gotten what I consider to be the first Shattered Glass character of Wave 2 or 2022, and that being the DK2, like a Shatterglass Ironhide. And I'm really torn as to whether or not, because we never got a proper Shatterglass Ironhide in the original Fun Pub run, sticking it with the Fun Pub toys or sticking it with these. Like, I think he probably would look like maybe better with this group of toys instead of the Fun Pub ones. So, it's the decisions. I'm not gonna buy two of them, even though like that's usually what I would do if I was having an identity crisis for where I wanted a figure to go. But overall, this looks great. This is a great lineup, and I think it'll continue to look better like as more stuff gets released. But I think it's mostly Autobots on tap for this like next wave of round two. I think like we've already seen images of Blaster, and technically we've gotten the Ironhide. I think we're supposed to get a Soundwave, which would be cool. But I think like Wheeljack, Ultra Magnus are the other two, and I think that's all for like the announcements. So like not getting like a Shockwave or the other two Seekers or something. I mean like obviously like Thundercracker would be like really easy to do, but like not getting more Decepticons is really making this feel like extremely off balance. Like as bad as I want a Shattered Glass Prowl, I would really like to see some more Decepticons kind of fleshed out here. And maybe that's something we just kind of have to like wait and see. Like I'm hoping that Wave 2 does well enough for them to do a Wave 3, and I'm hoping that Wave 3 is like 90% Decepticons. It kind of needs to be. I mean, they're your good guys. You kind of want those good guys, in my opinion. So that's that. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment box. I know this is a long video. I'm genuinely surprised if anyone made it this far into the video, but if you did, I definitely always appreciate you watching and like kind of hearing what I think about this sort of stuff. So now we get to I get to start reviewing stuff that like I really want to review, and I say that, and I've said that for the last two videos, but like now I'm finally going to start doing some like 1/18th scale stuff, and getting into some things that like I'm kind of like that's really preoccupying my current obsession, in toy collecting now. So yeah, all right, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later.